Today there is a lot of cruise news out there, but there are 3 headlines plus breaking news that I want to share with you, things that are most important today. So today we are going to go over what is going on with Hurricane Erin, specifically with the Regal Princess. She was supposed to be taking a much different cruise than she is going to end up taking. We will also be talking about a cruise line that is following in celebrities' footsteps of charging more for solo cruisers than for cruisers in the same cabin if you have 2 people in the cabin. And then we also need to talk about a new policy that Princess Cruises will be enforcing on September 10th. It's very controversial, and we're going to talk it over together, and I'll look forward to hearing from you in the comments. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Wednesday. It is August 20th of 2025, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please be sure to click on that subscribe button, and if you appreciate my updates, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so very much. Let's start at the very top talking about Hurricane Erin. So Hurricane Erin right now is a huge storm. They say it is so large that it is impacting the ability of the meteorologists, the people who chase hurricanes, all of this, to actually have a complete picture of how big it's going to get, what category it's going to be, overall the impact it's going to have. So around here we talk about cruising. I feel like it's really important though that we keep the people who are in the path of that hurricane in our prayers, because there is a wide swath of the Caribbean that is in the path there, and right now the state of North Carolina is under the state of emergency, and I'm sure there's a lot of others that I'm not aware of, and so let's keep everyone in our prayers, okay? I think that's important. Now the Regal Princess is up there in Brooklyn, New York, and was supposed to be taking a fantastic cruise that would include Bermuda and the Caribbean, and due to Hurricane Erin, that ship is going to remain docked in Brooklyn, not even sailing at all, in Brooklyn until Friday. They are not going to be able to go to the Caribbean at all. They are going to go down to Bermuda and have an extra day in Bermuda. What is Princess doing about this? And I want to say, when these things happen due to weather, it's not the cruise line's fault. It's not the same thing as sailing with a cruise ship that is not functioning correctly. Okay, to me, those are 2 very different things. And so what they are giving the guests who are on board the Regal Princess, first of all, they get free transportation to and from Manhattan. So while they're docked there in Brooklyn, they can do a lot of sightseeing. If they have friends there, they can go visit them. But there's a lot to see and do there. And so while it's not the cruise that you would have liked, it is certainly still a lot to see and do there. An important thing to know, though, is that Princess is still giving half of the amount that each guest paid for their cruise, the cruise fare portion, as a future cruise credit. I think that's wonderful that they're doing that. Like I said, no one can control the weather, and so they're giving them that, as well as $250 of onboard credit. So that's what we're looking at with the Regal Princess. But I know that all of the cruise lines sailing in that region, so we've got Carnival, Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, MSC, have all announced changes to itineraries. And so if you happen to be sailing on one of those cruises, let us know how everything is going and what it's like on your ship, if the cruise line's giving you anything. Like I said, I think it's very gracious when they do, due to weather, because like nobody can fix that. So that's what's going on with Hurricane Erin and cruising right now. I want to start this next little conversation by saying we have had such a spectacular day at sea sailing along the northern coast of Scotland. Tomorrow we are going to be in the port of Invergordon. Yesterday we were in the port of Greenock, Scotland, and so it's been spectacular. You can see the sun is moving a little bit, but what a day we've had. We did a sail along video so that you can just kind of see what the scenery is like, and I'd invite you to go look at that. Really beautiful, and the color of the water is spectacular. So next up, and then we're going to talk all about the cruise line, and it's one of our favorites around here that is charging more for solo guests than for guests that can have 2 in the cabin. The Princess has a policy change that is going to go into effect September 10th. Starting September 10th, their crew members are going to be required to cover any tattoos that they have while they're on duty. So for the most part, I think you can do that with clothing. As I have looked at the crew members that I have seen on board the ship, I know that some have tattoos. To me, I don't find them noticeable. I have never found one offensive or anything like that. So I feel like with this announcement, there are two important things that we need to consider, and I truly wish that Princess would have said what their thought process was with this requirement when they made the announcement that the policy was changing, because that would clear up, I feel like, a lot, and then we would know where they're coming from. So as we look at this, we need to consider the crew members, and we need to consider what Princess might be thinking as far as the guests on board. We all know that the crew members and the passengers are a very diverse group from all over the world, different backgrounds, different religions, different everything, truly everything. And I also feel like we need to consider the climate that we are in socially right now. I feel like we live in a time when people choose to be maybe offended where no offense was intended. Sometimes offense is intended, and then people are offended. I'm not someone who is easily offended. If you make a mean comment, it can hurt my feelings for a few minutes, but I try to learn from it and move on. But I feel like this would be me. If I owned a company, I would want to make sure that my employees don't do anything that would offend my guests, right? Or my customers. And I am wondering truly if Princess is coming from a place of thinking, we don't want any guests who are on board our ships to see any tattoos on a crew member that they would find offensive or take exception to. That's what I think. I do know that it's also really important. We've got to consider the crew members. They have tattoos. They're a big deal. People that get tattoos, it is a form of personal expression, what they want to put out there in the world, things that are really important to them. And I get that too. And so let me know in the comments what you think about this. And we'll go from there. I am really hoping that Princess will offer a little bit of clarification on this, but I don't know that they will. And so let's just talk it over together. One of our Let's Go family members, really dear friends, sent me a link to a place called Change, that if you want to, you can sign a petition saying you feel like they need to change the policy and not require this of the crew members. I wish I had more information on what Princess is thinking to really inform what they're doing with this so I could decide if I want to sign it or not. So tell me what you think about this in the comments. I'm not right about this. I'm not wrong about this. It's just something that I feel like we need to talk over together. So I look forward to reading your comments. Alrighty, this last thing we're going to talk about is huge. It's been at least a year ago, we talked about the fact that Celebrity was charging solo passengers more to book solo in a cabin than they were booking two people to book in that same cabin. And as I started looking at the Japan, this is when it really, I have seen it here and there on cruises, truly very much here and there. And so when I would look at even just sometimes one class of cabins on a cruise, but that's only 2 other times in all of this time that I've been doing this. So it's not been prevalent, and I kind of put it up to being a little bit of a glitch. But then when I started looking at the newly released Japan 2027 cruises, I look at a lot when I consider a group, just so you know that. It's not taken lightly. So I did notice that you, when you book, like take a balcony, you book a balcony cabin, it's X number of dollars for 2 guests in that cabin. You book a balcony cabin for a solo person, same category. You can even have the same cabin number, and it is X plus. I have seen up to as much as 17%. Some people have told me they've seen 13%, and it can change, from day to day. The prices change today. And so, why are we talking about this here? Because it's a big deal. When you ask Celebrity about it, they don't mind telling you that they lose revenue when there is only 1 person in a cabin compared to 2. You're not buying 2 drink packages or 2 plus packages. You're not spending, when the person goes to specialty dining, they're paying for 1 rather than 2. All of these things, they feel like they're losing revenue. And Princess must be thinking that too, because they're doing this to people. I'm going to go on record and say this is not right. This is not right. If you need to charge everybody a little bit more, then do. But it is not okay to single out a certain class of people with a certain, way, solo travelers, as a way to charge them more. just putting that out there. Like I said, if you need to charge a little bit more, charge a little bit more of everybody. But let me know what y'all think about this. Is it enough that I would quit cruising on Princess if I were going solo? Well, no. And I tell you why, because celebrities doing the same thing. I really should spend some time and see. So let me know if you've noticed if Royal Caribbean or Norwegian are doing this. I do notice that Norwegian is really tricky with what they do with solo cabins. Norwegian has the most solo cabins out of everybody, but a lot of times their solo studios are more than their solo interiors, or yeah, their pricing is a little bit tricky too, I feel like, when it comes to solo travelers. But I wanted to make you aware of this because I feel like if you comment and say what you think, you never know who reads the comments. Maybe it will help a little bit. Like I said, my best idea is to charge everybody a little bit more, but I don't like that they're charging solo travelers more. So let me know what you think in the comments. We are having a spectacular time here on the Regal Princess. Last night we went to the Military Tattoo in Edinburgh. Oh my goodness, it was worth all of the money that we spent to come on this trip. And we are seeing so much more than just that, but it was very much worth being here now. It was worth everything, and I'm going to say Princess did a really nice job. It does cost a lot through Princess. They did a really nice job though of taking good care of us, putting us right in the place, making so that nobody got lost, and we had amazing seats. And so we thoroughly enjoyed it. So we recorded a bunch of it, so we will put that out in a video in the next day or two so that you can see that. Let me know if you want to do it as a group someday. I would absolutely do this again. We don't have time. I wouldn't say until 2028, but let me know. It would be fantastic. We had yeah, I'll tell you all about that in a video, all about that, but it's wonderful. This evening is Dress to Impress evening, and so we are going to go enjoy the main dining room and have a lovely dinner. They had a bagpiper on board this afternoon. It's just been a really special cruise. The crew is knocking it out of the ballpark. The people in the dining room, our room steward, everybody that we have associated with has been superb. Just superb. No complaints at all. Really happy that we're here. I am tucking in this breaking news right now, happening live while I'm making this video. The rest of my video I made a little bit earlier today, but it's 11:15 here in Scotland, and we have a man overboard right now on the Sun Princess. It is a crew member, and there are currently 5 Turkish Coast Guard vessels looking for that crew member. That is all the information we have right now. I'm in close contact with someone who is on the Sun Princess, and they'll keep us all up to date, so I'll give you another update tomorrow. But I just wanted to let you know what's going on so that you can keep the crew member, their family, and the people searching for them in your prayers. This is really hard on everybody when this happens, especially the family of the person who goes overboard, but you have to consider all of the people who are looking for them, who are on the ship and worried about the situation. It's really very serious when someone goes over accidentally or intentionally, either way. So just wanted to bring you up to date on that. If you happen to be on the Sun Princess and you hear anything else, pop it in the comments and help us all stay up to date. So thanks. So let me know what your questions are in the comments, and I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.